Welcome to the first edition of the Nahar Jeeto Bookathon presented in association with Raisoni Foundation. My name is Juhi Karosia, and this session we will be exploring the CEO Spellbook, Secrets of Success from Industry Titans by Dr. Parveen Prasad. This book explores the world of thoughtful leaders and their ability to challenge established assumptions and craft new patterns to guide their organization towards success. This exceptional book highlights the central area focus and key takeaway in the journey of accomplished CEO. The focal point surrounds company valuation, market share, ethical behavior, ESG innovation, research and development, people-centric approach, diversity and organizational culture, performing management system, and much more. The author explored the mindset, strategies, execution, and innovation employed by top executives across diverse industries, resulting in remarkable achievements for this enterprise. Dr. Parveen Prasad, our speaker for the session, is an author and professor in HR, a visiting faculty in Symbiosis MBA Institute. She is also a corporate trainer and is a facilitator for the Mavericks Masterclass. Her previous book titled Stop, Don't Go There, Mistakes Made by Top Leaders was published by Bloomsbury Publishing and was well received. She had also written 2 books on human resource management and organization behavior. And now I would like to hand over the session to our speaker.
Uh, this book was launched about 2 months ago. It's a pleasure to talk about the book, but before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Parveen Prasad. I'm an author, a professor in human resource, as well as an HR consultant and trainer. My previous 2 books, each titled Human Resource Management, the Human Face, and Stop, Don't Go There, Mistakes Made by Top Leaders, were quite a hit. In fact, in Mistakes Made by Top Leaders, I spoke to about 25 to 30 CEOs and top leaders who shared their mistakes while leading successful organizations. It really helped me and the readers to bring out the human side of the top leaders. This was about 5 years ago. After that, a lot of these CEOs or top leaders, who then became my friends, suggested, why not I write a book which was more positive, which didn't really talk about any mistakes, but which spoke about what features that the leaders included or integrated in organizations, which made organizations successful. This created the beginnings for CEO Spellbook about 2 years ago. It was a very arduous and a difficult journey. What with these top leaders and CEOs being so busy. But there are very interesting insights and very interesting learnings, which I would like to share with you as readers after I wrapped up more than 17 interviews with the top leaders, which of course culminated in my book, CEO Spellbook, Secrets of Success from Industry Titans. And I'm very grateful to Sakar Publishers, one of the oldest publishing houses in Pune, to publish the book. Another reason why I believe Sakar was more appropriate for publishing my book, because many of the CEOs belong to Pune and Maharashtra. So here we go. What I will do now is I will briefly share with you some of the learnings and some of the insights of the CEOs, and then I will read excerpts from my book in order to share with you firsthand what they speak about in terms of what has driven their organizations to success. What are the focus areas which are very important today for driving organizations in these volatile times, in these complex environment times? What comes to my mind first is the foreword that is written by Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, who is a committee member at Honeywell Automation. He was the vice chairperson of Zenza. Now, what does he speak about? While discussing his success journey as a leader, he spoke about not only should one assess and not only should one understand one's strengths and one's potential to succeed, but also keep up and align with the changing paradigm shifts as environments change. Like he focuses very highly on ESG. And what is ESG? ESG stands for Environment, Sustainability, and Governance. He believes that while driving organizations today, probably these areas of being sensitive and aligning to the changes in the environment, being sensitive to the changing norms and cultures of society, and being sensitive to a transparent governance stands a priority while steering organizations. He also speaks about the integration generally of people, planet, and profits. Perhaps all this we can attribute to the success of Dr. Ganesh, who continues to be in the advisory board and who continues to be a committee board member in various organizations, right from State Bank of India to a Honeywell Automation. While talking to Dr. Arun Firodia, the chairman of Kinetic Engineering, it was very, very interesting to learn from him how product planning and product deciphering the product and analyzing the product while creating a new product is very, very important. A lot of research, a lot of background study needs to be done before the actual product is out of the market. He speaks about how, and of course we all know, customers today are unwilling to forgive. And if customers today are unwilling to forgive, debugging a product and testing a product time and again before it is actually launched in the market becomes of paramount importance. He speaks about the eLuna that was launched recently by Kinetic Engineering and its background testing and debugging, which was constantly done, probably attributes the success of the eLuna that was launched. Many other CEOs brought a lot of learning to the table. While talking to, today he's the CEO of Praj Industries, Shishir Joshipura. Earlier, he used to be the CEO of SKF. And while talking about his days in Thermax and SKF, and of course, spilling that paradigm even to Praj, he speaks about customer centricity and he speaks about customer orientation being of paramount importance. So while talking of this shift, Mr. Shishi talks about how, as a culture, in all the meetings, whatever meetings they have, small, medium level, or even the top level meetings, they make sure that one customer representative is present in the meeting so that they are able to get first-hand feedback and first-hand input from a direct user, that's a customer. Coming further, while talking to G.S. Grewal, who's the managing director of Kubota, which is an Indo-Japanese collaboration, and they are into making or manufacturing of agricultural tractors and related machines. He spoke about how the spirit of innovation and the spirit of building an environment or creating an environment among the employees, where the employees are free and empowered to give their inputs, as well as take decisions at their level. Perhaps these attributes helped him, after discussing with the various levels of employees, to innovate and to introduce what is called as compact tractors. And these lightweight compact tractors, which are now used in orchards and grapevines, they were pioneers in this. They were forerunners in this. And perhaps this is one of the reasons which has driven Kubota to enhance its market share hugely. So these are some of the paradigm shifts, and these are some of the areas or features which immediately come to my mind while talking about the success of top leaders while driving their organizations. With your permission, I will read some excerpts through these interviews of the CEOs to share with you firsthand the learnings and insights. Now, what I have done is, as an introduction to the book, I have highlighted some of the common areas and common features which I found among most CEOs while working in today's times. So, one of them, which continued to be repeated by all CEOs, was a thrust on sustainability and recycling. While to continue, we speak about Arun Firodia, Chairman Kinetic Engineering, who reiterates this thrust in his own words. We truly believe in moving with the times. And with a thrust on climate change and sustainability, we are embedding the same in all our practices. Dittos Dr. Naushad Forbes, Vice Chairperson, Forbes Marshall. In fact, their thrust on sustainability is so high that even as a part of their performance metric and performance dimension, a huge weightage is given to the focus on sustainability by employees at all levels, including their vendors, including their clients, whom they are training in order to make sure that they are saving their energy bills while using their finished products. Another area that was again commonly spoken of is product strategy and deep product planning. Let us hear from Chandrakant Nayak, CEO and Country President, Dow India, which is into manufacturing of various chemicals. We have invested in all application and development capabilities. We have a pack studio. If a customer comes to us for packing, our team can make a film and try it out at our pack studio. We can manufacture automotive seats, paints, and footwear in our labs. We don't waste customer machine time for trials. When we take the prototype to the customers, they are happy. We have made all these investments here. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why there is a very high confidence that our material will run, and this support is always appreciated by our customers. Another very common focus area that was narrated by many CEOs speaks about strategy and strategy direction. This is seen as a very prominent leadership mindset among most top leaders that I interviewed. In the words of Kishore Patil, co-founder, CEO and MD, KPIT Technologies Limited, this is what he says. The radical acceleration of our organization can be attributed to our initial strategy of building our company beyond founders. We had about 150 employees then in the year 1986. We were a firm of chartered accountants, a second generation firm, which was founded by my partner's father, Mr. K. Pandit. In our younger days, we were painstakingly and zealously exploring ideas on what to do to grow our firm significantly from its local Pune base to India and then globally. So, of course, our strategy to seek opportunities to join the big league of the Big 10 accounting firms, where the large organizations would automatically seek our services for auditing and consultancy. We not only nurtured this dream, but through our strategy, we were able to fulfill it to a large extent. We spoke about customer centricity. Another very common area that was reverberated by many top leaders and CEOs was culture. This is what C.P. Gurnani speaks about, who just retired as a chairman of Tech Mahindra. He speaks about culture, principles that are incorporated in Tech Mahindra. And in his own words. Openness, innovation driven, and daring. Through this underlying culture, we are trying to reshape the work environment and make the process personal and meaningful. Ditto Zubin Zak, MD, OC Tanner, which is into rewards and designing of rewards and recognition for organizations. This is what he says. That's the first thing. In his own words, we want the person to be themselves. Of course, we want people to be happy. Board members are treating culture as the key focus area. If there is communication and transparency, there is clarity. C in the CEO, according to me, is culture. I believe that culture and the various ingredients that form culture are very strong points. Business is ever changing, ever evolving, but we will sustain. Whatever we sustain is the culture. Layoffs are fine, but we are treating everything with dignity. To continue with late Vikram Kirloskar, unfortunately, just to tell you, I interviewed him in August 2022. And my bad luck, he passed away in September 22. It was a huge shock for me. I would like to relate and narrate to what he says. Late Vikram Kirloskar, Vice Chairperson, Toyota Kirloskar, speaks about culture as culture is the uniting thread amongst all of us. We do nothing alone. When we face challenges, everyone gets together very well. We came out very strong. A very good business model, according to me, is that of Toyota engines because of culture. We have, through this culture, we have managed to reduce energy consumption dramatically. We have, for example, low energy lights. We look at every small process change. We are highly automated. We focus on low energy automation using a weight and pulley to reduce energy consumption. We make people think. We encourage all our people at all levels to give inputs. That's the fun part. We have nothing fixed. Toyota's production system is not fixed at all. There is no status quo. Nothing is fossilized and fixed. Something is changing every day. Someone gives an idea, somebody implements it. So this is his take on culture. Finally, we speak about innovation and creativity. This was again a very common area and driver for success, which most top leaders echoed. Let us hear what Prajod Rajan, CEO EuroKids, one of the top schools in Maharashtra, speaks about in terms of innovation and creativity. We create our own content to align with our shared learning outcomes. We also choose our own publisher to publish our own books from grade 1 to grade 7. We work on Bloom's taxonomy model, which covers learning from a lower order to a higher order so as to inculcate 21st century competencies, critical skills, problem solving, communication, and life skills. Imagine, even at this level, they are very high on making sure to inculcate these skills, and thus to prepare students for the future volatile world. He applies the Bloom's taxonomy, I beg your pardon, the Bloom's taxonomy model. Now here let us talk about another area of innovation where Shishir Joshipura, ex-MD, SKF India, speaks about. Now here he speaks about a little narration where there were problems with the clients, how they worked towards solving the problem. This is what they do at Praj. While at Praj, we develop a solution using principles of microbiology to process sugarcane, which otherwise gives one crop a year. And we also make sugar from ethanol. As an innovative practice, it creates from effluent generation, biosyrup, and treats the juice produced and this can be stored for 1 year. And we also use this as feedstock. This innovation was generated by listening to the customers whose focus was on sustainability. Finally, let us talk about what she was the only, talking of gender, she was the only woman who was a part of my CEO Spellbook, Shivangi Gupta, Director, Midas Care, which is very popular in the promotion and manufacture of Rally Spray. In her own words, we continue to innovate in terms of technology, first to market products. We have various certifications for quality, US, FDA, TGA, and so on. Notably, our respiratory range of asthma inhalers are exported to more than 72 countries. So this is again a result of innovation. Now, what I will do is some features or some drivers which are leading to the success of organizations, I will read to you through excerpts and through narrations of the CEOs. Now, let us talk about the vision of Dr. Arun Firodia while driving kinetic engineering. With over 4,000 people in his own words, with over 4,000 people at Kinetic Engineering, to achieve the vision of launching electric vehicles as times are changing, the focus is on catalyzing people to foster their career growth path and motivate them to stick their necks out, as he says, and work in the factory or shop floor or office. For example, the success of Luna earlier as a poor man's two-wheeler is attributed to these ethics and principles. Chal Meri Luna, if you all remember, became an iconic campaign because it was designed keeping the Indian user in mind. This was a result of brainstorming, as he says, among our team members. So this is what he speaks about in terms of culture and kinetic. To continue, as a policy, we all believe that each worker and manager, including us, who are members of the top management, have to wear a white uniform. We set up a laundry to wash the uniforms regularly. A regime of a 15-minute exercise by all employees is a must. There are no cabins for the managers, and they have to sit next to the shop floor that they are in charge of. They also have to lead their workers to the canteen and eat the same food with them. The idea is that there is no social distancing, as the workers also aspire to become managers one day. We also have a resident doctor who attends to the workers' injuries and, of course, visits them if required. So, according to him, the success of kinetic rests upon such practices. As he says, we are also able to bring down the cost of our products by aggressive localization. Now, I would like to talk about, again in his own words, what Chandrakant Nayak talks about in terms of values. Value in Dow Manufacturing, which is headquartered outside of India, and of course having many offices in India, value is very, very important. Adherence to values. This is what he says. We have been keeping timelines of 10 years in terms of values. Every decade, we introspect and look at what more we could have done. This is an ongoing journey. Dow has always exceeded its targets. The new set of targets is based on what we achieved. Apart from safety, integrity, and respect for people as common values, there is a zero tolerance for non-adherence to these. A person is likely to lose his or her job if she does not align with these values. Sustainability has now been added as an additional value. And how? All our further investment decisions have carbon neutrality as a driver. These cannot be achieved alone. We need to partner with all our stakeholders. And so Dow navigates and guides to bring carbon neutrality to different forums for discussions, and for which we are a thought leader. So this is what Dow speaks about in terms of values. To continue with values and philosophy, let us talk about C.P. Gurnani, who recently retired Chairman Tech Mahindra. As he says in his own words, what has worked for us over the years is our team of friends and family in spirit. In our organization, we use a good combination of head and heart. Every aspect of decision making is weighed using a union of the head and heart. In order to bring out the best in our people, we as a team promote a participative culture which is all inclusive. We are quite parental in our approach with a sometimes tough, sometimes warm style of leadership. The overall goal or purpose is to achieve success in all our endeavors. One more very interesting feature as a culture that they have adopted, I would like to reiterate. As he says, another feature adopted by all our teams is to design stretch goals. If these are difficult to achieve, then we break them into sub-goals and milestones. We work on 3 different vectors. The first vector is customers, the second is technology, and the third is people across locations. That is geography. We get teams across locations to work together across different verticals called internal lock-in. For example, the sharing of goals among functions and team members is an interdependent process. We do not wait for the end goal to fail and then analyze it threadbare. We communicate and constantly communicate the revisited goals, and on the way, try to fix things by changing processes and systems. We constantly keep our team members energized. This is what, these are the pearls of wisdom, I would say, that we got from Mr. Gurnani. Now let us talk about what G.S. Grewal, MD, Kubota speaks about in terms of a superlative customer experience. A distinct initiative involved in Kubota is extending an unmatched customer experience for tractor buyers, just like car buyers in the showroom. Farm equipment customers, imagine, are extended a red carpet treatment while delivering the tractor and farm equipment. Kubota undertakes a vision and mission review periodically with the sole objective of providing an unmatched customer experience and incorporating a culture with Japanese and Indian dimensions integrated. For instance, dealer partners are named as channel partners and are offered the utmost politeness and respect, irrespective of their position. From the Indian side, the speed of making decisions and the risk and return balance are optimized for the best results. As the best of both cultures collaborate, there is an increasing diversity through multiple languages and collective decision making. As he uses the word, we have a leadership style that we've adopted across all levels, which is a coaching style. Let us talk about strategy while speaking about the success of Kishore Patil and KPIT Infosystems. As he says, our strategy to identify the top 25 automobile companies in the world, namely GM, they are into smart technology for cars, as namely GM, Volkswagen, BMW, and so on, and then make a deep impact with forward-looking technology. Coincidentally, at that time, automobile companies were witnessing 2 major changes or transformations, and this was in alignment with our vision of being the first to invest in technology to build sustainability and technological software. We accelerated our journey in alignment with our strategy of deeply technologically servicing 25 customers with a matching perspective and purpose. And let's understand how the vision continued. We kept dreaming and never sat on our laurels. As we dreamt, we could see the next horizon. In this journey, we undoubtedly had people who stayed with our vision and mission. As this journey of growth continued on a global scale, we hired and designated mentors or advisors for our different sets of people to adapt and learn from. We truly benefited from our close association with other companies in different aspects of our working. So, the strategy of learning from our clients and working with their mindsets seems a sure formula for success, coupled with people inside who were learning from advisors and clients too. So, matching the mindset with what the client works miraculously helped. Ours was never a transactional approach with a client, but a win win approach, which was transformational. With our 25 client partners and earning billions of dollars with our collaborators comes the gratification of a well thought out strategy, surely. Now let us talk about Dr. Naushad Forbes and his take on what makes Forbes Marshall, a middle level manufacturing organization, a great place to work for. The rankings as a great place to work for Forbes Marshall has been very high. Let us see what are the features, according to him, which makes Forbes Marshall a great place to work for, and that is why their employee turnover is very, very minuscule. As a proud ranker of the organization Great Place to Work For, this is what he says. We have adopted certain practices. Number one, the sunset clause, which reiterates that any person in the organization will wait for shared decision making only till the sunset of the next day. And if it is missed, then the manager should endorse or support whatever decision is made by the team member. I must confess, however, this is hardly used. The second point. The principle of addressing everyone in our organization by first names has still not been ingrained. Of course, we are trying our best to do that. But it is slowly and surely growing. Over the years, as we grew older, and so did the managers, we have a large proportion of the younger workforce who find it very difficult to leave the habit of addressing all seniors as sir, madam. But I strongly believe, and which I am promoting in Forbes Marshall, that by calling people by their first names, the focus is more on the content of communication rather than who is saying what, which should not be the case. That's it. The third. I believe that individuals in an organization should get maximum support and guidance for value addition as opposed to a mindset of I'm the boss, I know everything. The role of the manager should be to optimize value addition from his team members, and that is the essence, according to him, of good leadership. The fourth point. As engineering companies, our research findings show that the content of work is very fulfilling for engineers, but we must brand and sell ourselves better. Apart from this, we are willing to focus on better hygiene elements from our workplaces through more colorful and attractive campuses and better gourmet content cafeterias. This is what he says, perhaps which will still escalate their ranking. And the last is he speaks about diversity and inclusiveness, which they are working on very, very strongly. Now let us talk about Dr. P. K.C. Bose, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Enercon Wind Energy Private Limited. According to him, some of the attributes, I'll share 2 or 3 of his attributes that he speaks about leadership, which have been working. Empowering people by giving them freedom. Along with this, it is also necessary to adapt to the culture of the country. For example, Enercon is a German headquartered company with a big presence in India. For that, we had to adapt to systems in line with the Indian ethos laws, and moral values. A lot of MNCs can take a cue from this. Giving people more than they ask for. That's the second point. We are constantly motivating our people and aligning compensation and benefits to their increasing needs. And one more, focus, commitment, consistency. FCC is very, very important. And in our case, it helped to restore our image and market share by focusing on this. So here I will repeat Bloom's taxonomy model that is adopted by the entire group of schools and institutes of EuroKids and Billabong. Let us talk about, so for example, in numbers, they have 14 cell-phone EuroSkills, 1,200 franchised, 104 Kangaroo Kids, 4 Billabong, and a chain at Nagpur called Centerpoint, which are self-owned schools. So these are the numbers of schools that have been acquired and launched by Prajot Rajan. Now let us talk about a very interesting concept that he speaks of. Now he speaks about Eunoia, EUNOIA. That's a curriculum that is deployed for EuroKids preschools up to grade 7, which emphasizes mindfulness of the mind, body, and soul. As he says, we provide an internal platform to train teachers in both synchronous and asynchronous technology. We have a system of ongoing teacher training to apprise them of new technology and acclimatize to our values and systems. The objective is to facilitate them to align with our value and guidelines. For example, he speaks about the focus on safe schools, which was pioneered 7 years ago. Today, it is incorporated in all their EuroKids as well as international schools. They have got a certification from Bureau Veritas for aligning with the health and safety standards. So these are some areas which are now being spoken of in the new education policy. However, Prajot Rajan and team were obviously far ahead of their times. Let us talk about LACE, which is promoted in Praj. In the words of Shishir Joshipura, CEO, MD Praj, LACE stands for Laboratory Awareness Customer Environment. As he says, we created a laboratory awareness customer environment where we invite and call customers to talk to the senior team in design and manufacturing, and we only listen. The rules are that there will be no reactions, only asking questions for clarification. My experience is that this exercise leads to a powerful understanding of dimensions through the customer's views and adds immense value to underlying and understanding perspectives. He also speaks about sustainability. For example, in our Beyond Zero program, we created a portfolio of new products with a huge savings in CO2. And this resonated with our vision of being sustainable and customer-centric. Such orientations also gave us aha moments. So this is what he speaks about in terms of sustainability. Now let us understand what Shivangi Gupta is speaking of in Midas Care, and probably an attribute that has led to the success of Midas Care. In our management, she speaks about organization design. As she highlights, there is no scope for prejudice, bias, and subjectivity. In terms of our management and leadership, we strongly believe in designing internal systems. There is no scope, I'm repeating, prejudice, bias, and subjectivity. I believe if you have a strong communication and transparency in your organization, and the structure is aligned to that, where there is more flexibility, there are fewer inhibitions, and this allows for a good system to thrive and improve. Everybody from the shop floor to the front office is aware of these values and design. Talking about late Vikram Kirloskar, and Toyota's trust on sustainability. Let us hear from him. We undertake carbon, in his own words, late Vikram Kirloskar. We undertake carbon absorption and a lot of reforestation, not gardening. For water, we buy hardly 4 or 5% of water only for the canteen. For the rest of the requirements, we undertake rainwater harvesting for the reduction of water and energy usage. As for plastic, we hardly use it. We do not use any packing material, only pellets. Our inventory is barely for a couple of hours. Interesting. Or maximum one day. We have no other inventory. We use packing material only for spare parts. We treat all our sewage and manufacturing waste through bacteria now and do not use any landfills. Sludges are dried out, treated with bacteria, and can be used as earth. We are proud to say that we are one of the cleanest car factories in the world. He continues, we have a 35-acre environmental park where we are teaching school children to save the environment. It's like catching them young. And so far have taught more than 30,000 school children about what circular economy is, showcasing different issues of the environment with the purpose of catching them young in their thinking and behavior towards the environment. According to him, this is the way you push behavioral change. And Toyota continues to drive and promote this working. Talking about what Zubin Zak is talking about in terms of designing rewards and rewards and recognition, this is what he speaks about. He speaks about employee appreciation in his own words. We feel the strong need for employees to feel fulfilled at the workplace where someone needs to be appreciated. It is one of the most underdeveloped and underutilized tools. Use increment and put it in appreciating and recognizing people, and attrition would be reduced. This is what he says. In turn, customer scores go up as a result of employee satisfaction and engagement. This is what they witnessed. We are putting together a structure and framework for recognition. This whole ecosystem of appreciate, recognize, be transparent, and communicate to people. This is important. We use this methodology as our corporate communication tool. This is what he says. Talking about his current goals, he speaks about, I'm excited to stay abreast with what is happening in the space of data mining insights. For instance, before designing the rewards and recognition, we assess our clients, how transparent they are, their communication, etc. This is our homework. Today, the amount of money spent on rewards and recognition is much lower, although the MNCs are upping their spending on these areas. Creating clarity, simplicity, and enthusiasm are getting alignment from all our internal stakeholders. I was very, very privileged to get a foreword which was written by Dr. Ganesh Natarajan. I would like to share. He's the chairman of 5F World, Lighthouse Communities, and Honeywell Automation India. He's the board member, as well as a board member of State Bank of India, Global Talent Track, and Hinduja Global Solution. And this is what he advises. A word of advice to all leaders in this new environment. Next generation leadership will need a deep understanding of the evolving aspirations of the youth, the Gen Zs who are our new hires and increasingly becoming the most discerning and vocal customers of our products and services. The leader who has dogmatic views on expected response patterns of employees and customers is walking on thin ice, and no amount of anecdotes about past success will appeal to an audience that is aspirational, impatient, and demands gratification now. Now take a fresh look at the pathway you have chosen, as he says. Clearly state your mission and how you will define success and build a business model that explores all dimensions of success and gets you to the goal. This is his very interesting take on today's leaders. And finally, I would like to share what Ashish Gaikwad, MD, Honeywell Automation speaks of. He speaks about he speaks about this 118-year-old organization that has stood the test of time. And this is what he says. Our commitment to shaping a better world is driven by our people. We address them as future shapers. Our future shapers are working on making a tangible impact in the world to create smarter, safer, and sustainable solutions for their customers. Driven by our company's behaviors and culture, we are able to create a winning workplace at Honeywell, which has been acknowledged as one of the world's most ethical companies in the year 2020 by Ethisphere, an organization that honors businesses for corporate ethics. We are grounded in a strong set, our employees and our organization is grounded in a strong set of foundational principles which are essential for the success. And these, I believe, serve as prerequisites for all who want to work for the company. And our culture boasts of the following features: ethics, inclusion, diversity, and workplace respect, which are central to our culture. I hope these insights and learnings have been useful the way they are useful to me and many of my readers who have shared their feedback on CEO Spellbook, highlighting these learnings. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Have a nice day and do buy CEO Spellbook, Secrets of Success from Industry Titans. Thank you.